Good morning. We're going to get started. This is Kathy Pileggi and Amy Vegas from Quantum Strategies. I hope everyone's doing okay. We want to be sensitive to your time. So if anyone comes in, we'll just, we'll keep moving on through the presentation and we can loop back to any questions as well. We are recording this teleconference, this presentation, so that we can put it up on the Open Enrollment online platform. So you will have access to it. And you will have access to us throughout the week next week as you're enrolling also through phone and email, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. We're meeting you for the first time, obviously, through phone. So Quantum Strategies, we're your consultant for your health benefits, for your medical, dental, and vision. So we wanted to go through what your plans are this year. There are very little changes in your plans. What the open enrollment window is starting next week and how you'll enroll this year, because it is a little different. You'll be going on to an online enrollment platform. So we thought we'd go through all the benefits, the plans, the process. This is made to be interactive. Please interject as you need to. Please ask questions. We'll answer them as we go along. I'd rather it be more interactive. And I left the chat. If you can see over here, I left the chat section open. So if you have a question and you just don't want to, you're muted because it's easier to be heard, or you don't want to, you have background noise and you're muted, please feel free to put something in the chat and then we'll address those questions towards the end as well. Okay. Okay, so we're going to move forward here. I'm not sure if you're used to getting open enrollment presentations, if you're used to having someone come in to present or provide information to you. This is what we do every year, and then we're also available throughout the year, monthly, weekly, to answer questions that you may have about your health insurance, your claims, what have you. So your open enrollment period is always October 1st. Your benefits always are October 1st, where you have that window now in September to re-enroll, stay in your current coverage, choose a different plan, add a spouse, add a child, what have you. So this is always that time of year that everyone has that opportunity to reevaluate their benefits. So next week, Monday through Thursday, you'll be able to go in and look at what you currently have or see what you currently have, and then also be able to decide if you want to stay in the same or change. We're going to run through what your medical plan choices are this year. And again, not much has changed, your dental and your vision. And our goals really, because I know we're new to you and you're just meeting us and getting used to us and a new system of online enrollment, we really just want to make sure you understand your health plans, the options that are presented to you, and how best to use them. Okay. And then as we get to know each other more, there'll be more interaction and we may be helping you with implementing different plans, other health benefits, what have you. As we mentioned, we call our enrollment platform Quantum Ease, so we term it after ourselves. But you'll get information right in the next few minutes on that. And as I said, we'll be sending out an email to everyone, or actually Casey will be sending out an email to everyone, letting them know here's the open enrollment time frame. This is how you go in and log in. And then from that moment on, we really would like you to interact with us, contact us, email, call us, and then we'll be able to help you through if you have any problems or any issues. The next screen up here, and I'm not sure how everyone's looking. Some people may just be listening and not looking at a screen. Others might be looking at the screen. So I'm going to go through as if you are actually looking at this. And like I said, we'll put this recorded teleconference up on the site. Your three plans really did not change this year. You have the same three plan options as you had last year. There's two main changes across all of them. All of them increased in the out-of-pocket network, so not the deductible, but the out-of-pocket network. And all of them did increase in rates. Their cost did go up about 8%, we'll say, about 8%. So you will see a cost increase slightly over from last year. And I know no one likes to hear that, but we did, your cost increase this year was actually double that. It was actually 16%, and we were able to get Highmark to come down to 8%. So they minimized it as much as possible. So, but you will see an increase from what you were paying over last year. What I will do is just go right to the bottom, just highlight quickly. You're seeing your total monthly cost for each plan, and then your employee weekly contribution. We wanted to do it weekly because obviously you're paid weekly, so you would see what would actually come out of your pay. So last year you might have been around 82, 83 on this plan versus the 85, okay? Each plan, again, as I said, there is no change in copay, no change in deductible. You still have your $1,000, $2,000 deductible plan, your $2,000, $4,000, and you still have the $5,500, $11,000. The only thing that has changed is the total out-of-pocket max increased across the board. So what that means is for all of them, you have a deductible to be met, whether you have some copays as well and then a deductible, or like the last plan, it's all expenses are applied to the deductible. Once you hit that deductible for individual, let's just say the $5,500, what the out-of-pocket max means is there could be some expenses benefits or health services that you have that are still, you'll have to pay out of pocket for. But you will max out at $67.50. You will never pay more than $67.50 in 1 year. So I just wanted to make sure you were clear on what out-of-pocket deductible means and then out-of-pocket max. And if I just take the individual of $5,500, that's the most you have to hit before you then pay hardly anything. However, there is an out-of-pocket max because there is some services you may still incur, whether they're out of network or what have you, that you're still going to pay a cost for, or you may. You cannot pay any more than $67.50 in 1 year, and then you tap out, which means no more can come from you as an individual. Of course, you have a higher out-of-pocket max if you're family. Do see also, though, that on your lower deductible plans, you have a $7,900 and on those $7,900, $15,800. Okay. Did someone want to ask a question? I just didn't want to keep talking. Okay, I'll keep going. No worries there. I just wanted to make sure you understand the out-of-pocket versus the deductible. Do realize on the first two plans, about 1,000, 2,000, 2004, you do have some copays with no deductibles. It's primary care, specialist, ER, urgent care. The deductible is primarily on hospital, inpatient, and outpatient, advanced diagnostic imaging, MRIs, CAT scans, all those advanced type of procedures. So it's really when you go in the hospital, you have to worry about these deductibles. The last plan, the third plan, the $5,500, $1,100 one, is one that everything is applied to the deductible. You go to the doctor, you pay whatever the cost is. Could be $120, could be $20, could be $50. That goes towards your $5,500. Once you hit that, then you max out, but no copays. You're probably aware of that, but I want to make sure you are. We sort of highlight a little differently than you might have seen it in past years, your prescriptions. I just want to make sure you are clear with the prescriptions that the first two plans, because they're not true high deductible health plans, are not all deductible. They have those copays. So your prescriptions are not part of the deductible, which means you don't have to, the prescriptions don't go towards that 1,000 or that 2,000. You're just going to pay the prescription cost, and it's separate from the, not accounting towards the deductible. You have a low cost generic, you have a regular generic, you have a formulary, a non-formulary, and then you have specialty drugs. You have a lot of categories. The RX, or the prescription area today, has really gotten specific. A lot of drugs have been now, some are more classified as lower cost generic, then your regular generic, your brand, like I said, non-brand. They really are dividing them. And every year the insurance companies can decide where they move certain drugs, whether it was a non-brand and now they put it into a specialty. Specialty now, no, it's no longer a specialty and it comes into the brand category. So it's something that we just say, whatever prescriptions you may be on or whatever you may be taking, it just behooves you owe it to yourself to just always continue to look. Don't assume because, oh, it's the same copay, nothing's changed, that your prescription is going to be the same amount. We would assume it would be, but it could be your prescription now falls into a different category with your health insurance company. And most people don't realize that until it's their open enrollment, that why am I paying more or less? And it's not always coincides with open enrollment. It's just that the health insurance company went through a year, they looked at what drugs are being used and how often and the cost, and they might put someone in a higher category and some in a lower category. And they can do that at any time. Just want you to be aware of where you stand, and if you see any changes, after this open enrollment period, we're happy to call the insurance company for you, Highmark, and find out why. But just know where they're coming from in the background at any given time based off of their claims experience and how many people are on a certain prescription, and if that's the rising cost for them, where they can start to move certain RXs into certain categories. I'm going to pause there. Is there any questions? I wanted to do a little more high level, but is there any specific questions? Because I know these are the same plans with very little changes this year. Okay. What I will say in the employee weekly contribution of what you'll be paying per week, it does, at the bottom you'll see there, it does account for approximately Miller Brothers paying 17%. So they're giving 17% towards the premium and you're paying the remaining amount. So I just want you to understand this is across all plans, all coverage levels. So if you're trying to look at, well, why is employee only coverage this and why is employee children, employee spouse, Miller Bros committed to a consistent, this is how much they're giving towards all coverage levels across all plans, and then the employee picks up the rest. Okay. On your dental Dental doesn't change this year at all. You're staying with Highmark's Dental. Your plan is exactly the same as last year, no changes. I'm just going to go, I mean, we can look at a little bit in here, but I just want to go down to the rates. Highmark did have an increase, and we went back to them and asked them to make it static and not increase at all, and they came down and said you'll have no increase this year, which is great. So we at least did not get you have it. You're not going to experience an increase in dental this year, which is great. The monthly premiums are the same, and your employee weekly contributions will stay the same. We know this is all employee paid, so no plan change, no rate change. MAC, out-of-network reimbursement level, what that means, and we have it at the bottom here, is because a lot of people don't understand it just means that if you go to an out-of-network dentist, their services will be capped at the maximum allowed for an in-network service. So you won't be charged up through the roof on an out-of-network provider. They do have a cap, and it's capped at the in-network provider's maximum. So that's all that means, that it's going to be higher, obviously, out of network, but you will have a cap, and it's not as if they can just go through the roof, okay? Again, whether you're in or out of network, all of your preventative is 100%, your basic 80%, and a lot of the basic is indicated here as endodontics, periodontics, or oral surgery. Major is usually your crowns, root canal. You do have that orthodontic as well, which is great, and you have the orthodontics for the children, but then you also have the percentage that you have to pay over beyond that, beyond the 1,000. So it is very nice. You have a plan that does cover orthodontic for children, which is great. No changes from last year. What I will say again is I sort of always say with your medical or particularly your dental, you probably go into the same provider. There's no changes in your plans. There's no reason for you to want to say, why would my dentist move out of the Highmark network, or why would anything change? But just realize again that any medical provider, dental provider can move in or out of any network that they want at any time. And sometimes you only notice it at a certain time in the year and go, why is my dentist no longer covered? For whatever reason, they just decide they don't want to be covered under a certain insurance carrier, and they drop their contract with them. So that's, again, it's you owe it to yourself to always make sure maybe once a year you go through and you look and you make sure all of your providers are still covered under medical, all your dental is, nothing's changed, or you go to the office manager at your next appointment and ask them, any changes, anything I'm going to see different? Because we're telling you there isn't any, but that doesn't mean the provider, the dentist, didn't make some change with the carrier. Okay, so again, it's just want you to be an educated consumer. We try to give you as much information as possible, and we know as much as we can. We're a very agnostic broker. We're not connected with any insurance carrier, so we'll go to any insurance carrier. We're looking out what's the best for you, and we stayed with Highmark this year because we felt that was the best for you. We try to have as much information as we can from Highmark, but we don't always get what their changes right up front. We won't know till a month later. So something may change, and then you'll come to us and say why, and then we'll go back and investigate for you. But we try to be proactive. It's just that we can't possibly get all the changes that are going on behind the scenes with the carriers and the providers. Okay. But our goal is really communicating, making sure if there is a change or an issue, we address it and we solve it. We won't tell you everything will be smooth or there won't be any issues, but we will help solve and resolve, help you through that process of resolving any issues you have with your health benefits. We know it's a cloudy area. We know it's a complicated area, the health insurance world. So we're here to help you. Moving on to your vision. Your vision hasn't changed either this year. You're staying with Highmark. You are in a 3-year rate guarantee, and this is year 2. So your rates will continue this year to be what they were last year, same weekly contribution, and next year you're also held to the same rates. You won't see an increase, okay? So you have your exam frequency of once every 12 months, your contact lens once every 12 months, your frames is once every 24, and you see where you're in and out of network. Copays and that allowance out of network just means if you go to an out of network vision provider, they're going to give you $40 towards an exam. $40 towards single lenses, $60 towards bifocal. That's how much you're getting, and then you pay the remaining amount, okay? Again, no, it's voluntary, all employee paid, no change, no rate increase. Coming down here, okay, so you'll get an email, end of day today, and it'll be definitely to the email addresses that was provided to us from Casey, and it's pretty much going to say, open enrollment begins next week. Welcome. It's time for you to go online and make your choices. And you'll get a link like this. It says to register, because none of you would have registered before, so you'll get a first-time register. You will need the company identifier, and it's right here, and we will repeat this in the email that goes out. MBSS is your company identifier. Ask for your last four of your social and your birth date. And this is just an example of what you'll see. This isn't each person's individual. Obviously, this is someone's mock screen here. But you'll come in and it'll say good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you enter the tool, it's now time to start your enrollment. You'll hit the Start Enrollment tool, or button right here. And then what below it, it'll say, okay, this is what, be prepared to just verify your personal information, your dependents. What we did was we loaded in all your information. We loaded in all your dependents information that are currently on your plans, their birth dates. But this is your time to go in and say, is everything correct? We entered it as correct as we got it, but it's sort of like your once a year to say, you know, make sure my birth dates are okay with the children. Do I have someone who's 26 who's coming off my plan? Am I taking the spouse off because he or she's going on her own insurance with her employer, what have you? This is your time to look over everything, okay? So we just ask that you take a look. Don't like click through your profile with your address and assume everything's fine. We'd like you to take a look at it and make sure, because you can actually change it and update, okay? You'll elect your benefits. After you get started, you'll go through your profile and then you'll start electing your medical benefits, your dental, and your vision. On the medical, you're going to see all three plans pop up. You're going to choose if you want your coverage yourself or spouse or children. And then when you choose that, you'll see what the weekly amount will be per pay. This is going to ask you to confirm and then go on to the next coverage. You'll do the same with dental, vision. You'll come to the end and you'll submit. In the email we send out to everyone, we'll put our contact information. You know, technology is great, but we all know that there's always a glitch or there's always someone who can't get in or something happens behind the scenes on the platform. If you can't get in, we want you to contact us, email us, and we'll help you through. If you're remote, you're off-site or on vacation and you need to get your elections in, please do give us a call. We will make the elections for you as long as you tell us what you want. And then we'll send you a screen print back of those elections saying this is what you said you wanted. We're hitting the acknowledge button. Here's your screen print. Just confirm that this is good. Okay, so we'll help you out in any way. Don't want you to feel stranded, or if you have a glitch in the tool you can't get through, we'll help you through. But this is our start towards making a little more self-service portal, doing it a little easier, not having to fill out 3 different forms for 3 different coverages, and making updates a little easier. We then take all your enrollments and get them over to Highmark as well. We're at a good time frame. If everything's enrolled next week and everyone has all their enrollments in and we wrap them up, you should see any new cards, ID cards coming probably the second week of October. It's usually 7 to 10 days from the time we roll everything up. If you make no changes, it's typical that you won't get a new card, but we will find out from Highmark. So if you say I'm status quo, I'm staying in everything as is, it's usual with Highmark you don't get a new card, but we will let you know if indeed they will be sending out new ones. They definitely will for anyone who makes a change or any new employee who's adding coverage, of course. Okay. Any other questions? So I have a question. Is this a lot of information? Is this more than you used to get? How do you feel with this information? If 1 or 2 people don't mind just maybe giving us some feedback. Everyone's so quiet.
Hi, Kathy. It's Casey.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. No, this is nice. We usually don't have a presentation like this for any open enrollment or anyone to actually fully explain the benefits like this. So it's definitely improvement from what we've done last year.
Okay, yeah. We just want to make sure everyone feels comfortable and please ask questions, interject. But sometimes it does take looking at it today, going home over the weekend, and then having questions next week.
I do have a question for you.
Sure.
For the people that are not interested in the benefits, do they still have to go into the open enrollment and waive benefits, or what's the process for that?
They do. Yeah, we
Okay.
still do ask them to go in, and it literally is just going through each of the 3 coverages and going, I don't want waive, I don't want waive, and then submitting at the end.
Okay.
And if someone needs to waive and they're off site and they can't get to it, they just need to let us know and we'll waive them. But it's sort of like, it's your right as an employee to say yay or nay at this time of year. So we really want you to do it and tell us you said no.
Kathy, this is Nick. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. When this is all done, I'm going to need a list of who all enrolled.
Yep.
And what they need to pay a week, so I can give that to our CFO.
Correct.
For deductions.
When do you need that by, Nick?
Well, when everything's all done, I just need it before, I need to start taking the money out of everybody's paychecks and change those amounts.
Yep. Okay. We'll make sure you have it, I would think by 10/1, because I would think that that week is when you're going to need to start because you're a weekly payroll. So not a problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, we want to be sensitive to your time. I know it's only about 10:20. We don't want to rush anyone off, but at the same time, we want to give you time back in your day. So again, the email will go out. We'll have our contact information. Please feel free to reach out. We know this is new, and we'll help you through it. Any questions you have.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kathy.
Kathleen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.